Good morning, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Oranjo's deck building guide. First, a few reminders from part 1. The deck should be maximum 25 cards and roughly half character cards with the other half item cards, and you can fill any space with power cards. So how do we use what we learned from part 1 to actually make a deck? Start by getting some pen and paper and make 2 columns. On one side characters, the other side items. I like to put numbers on each side, 1 through 12 next to characters, 13 through 24 next to items. Here's an example kitchen sink deck that I made. I put in my 12 best characters and 12 of my best items, plus my highest health pre-combo down at the bottom. On the back of the paper, I made a chart. I wrote all my items at the top and all my characters on the side. Next, I looked up the different combos on the internet and filled out the chart. I'll put some links to some of the websites I used down in the description below. This is actually a very important step, because ideally, every item card should combo with every character card. On top of that, not all combos are created equal. In this example here, Fartkul and Peter makes Maracas Peter, which is not a very good combo. Also, Tom Landry and Leela, they don't combo at all. But since we only have about 2 of each in the deck, it's probably okay to keep them. Likewise, Rifle and Bender don't combo either. But since I have 3 Benders and 4 Rifles in the deck, I might want to think about replacing one or the other. But in AT, we really don't want to be using kitchen sink decks, and we really want to be using trait decks. To make a trait deck, you follow the same procedure as for a kitchen sink deck, but with an extra step involved. To make a trait deck, start by getting your 12 best item cards that match the BGE. I say start with item cards because ultimately it is the item cards that match the BGE and not the character cards. This is also another reason why you don't want to immediately quad fuse your cards, because you're going to need a good number of them in order to fill out your deck with items that match the BGE. In this example here, I've chosen 12 item cards with the Disguised trait for a possible disguised BGE. Next, I make a combo chart just like before, where I have the items on the top and the characters on the side. However, this time, I just put check marks if the cards combo and left it blank if they don't. You can use whichever method you prefer. Working with this chart, our next step is to try to figure out which characters we should use in this deck. If you notice, Bender combos with all 6 item cards, but Peter, Hank, and Roger combo with only 5 of them. Tina, Leela, and Peggy only combo with 4. So from this, it would seem like the best way to start would be to use Bender, Peter, Hank, and Roger. But you also have to keep the quantity of your cards in mind. Hank doesn't combo with protective suits. So if, for example, you had 6 protective suits, you might not want to use Hank. Now, in my case, since I only have 1 Hank card and 2 protective suits, while it's not ideal, it's okay to put them in the deck. So here's what my example trait deck would look like. Now, before I go, I just want to make a quick mention about power cards. When you're building a trait deck, only use power cards that have the same trait. And for every 2 power cards you have, you can use 1 less character and 1 less item. Try to keep the number of characters and the number of items equal to each other. And with that, I wish you good luck in the Rumble.